Hey everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood sax man Alex here. If you haven't already, check out my Vandoren comparison video. And if you're new here, check out my Get to Know Me video. Welcome back to another Sax Ed video with Alex Ramirez. Today I want to talk about time feel. Time feel is something that you can practice, but is something that when you're playing with a band, it's very important to have, because if you're playing behind the beat or playing on top of the beat, that can affect how your fellow bandmates will react to how you're playing. In my many years of playing sax, I've had the opportunity of playing with multiple bands and with different types of rhythm sections. Some of the rhythm sections I played with offered different time feels in terms of what tunes that we were going to play, if it was an up-tempo tune or a ballad or whatever it may have been. As a saxophonist of the band, it does not matter that the drummer is keeping time. You should always be conscious of keeping the time. I know it doesn't really make sense for the saxophonist to keep time, but trust me, we have just as much responsibility as a drummer to keep time. If we start playing melodies and start slowing down, who's going to follow us? The drummer, most likely. So whose fault is it going to be? Is it going to be the drummer's fault or your fault? So Alex, how do you practice practicing time feel? Easy. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. One of the best ways that I'd say, if you have this opportunity, of course, social distancing and being careful during this time, is playing with a drummer. If you have the opportunity to play with a drummer, I would suggest doing that a lot. Playing with a drummer gets you a little bit more adjusted to how they would syncopate rhythms, how they would utilize the entire drum set in terms of what downbeats they would play on certain parts of the drums. And it'll get yourself more accustomed to not relying on harmonic figures or harmonic progressions or the bass player always walking. If you're like me and you're in a shoebox of an apartment in Manhattan in the middle of a pandemic, there's another option. What is that option, you may ask? Believe it or not, a metronome will help you a lot with practicing time feel. I know every teacher you've ever had has probably said, play with the metronome, play on 2 and 4, play on 1 and 3, play triplets, play everything using a metronome. And I know you don't want to hear the same spiel from me. Yes, you gotta play with a metronome to make sure you're metronomically perfect in time. But no, this is different. They might tell you to play scales using a metronome. They might tell you to play certain long tones using a metronome. They might even tell you to play articulation exercises within a metronome. But this is a little bit different. This is an exercise that I learned from Gary Keller from the Frost School of Music at University of Miami. Time feel was the biggest thing that I was lacking in when I was studying. This one technique I'm going to show you really, really helped me, and I can't stress this enough. Really helped me a lot. One, because I didn't really know a drummer coming into Berkeley the first couple months in my first semester. And two, if I'm just going home, I can use a metronome and practice using the exercises that Gary taught me. This is the technique that I want you guys to learn. First, take a metronome, whether it be a physical metronome or one on your phone. Take it up to whatever speed that you feel comfortable single-tonguing in. Then, if you haven't already purchased this book in your vast years of saxophone playing, purchase the book, 25 Daily Exercises by H. Clozaire, his Hyacinth Clozaire. These exercises are amazing, but we're only going to focus on one exercise, which is, funny enough, number one. Number one is a really cool exercise because it's just strictly the C scale with a little bit of chromaticism in the third phrase, if you look at the middle part of it. How would I practice time feel just using that? It's usually all slurred, and really there's no use for doing that if you're just doing it at a slow tempo. Well, Gary Keller told me to articulate using kind of jazz articulation, which is on the upbeats of every eighth note, and do it at fast tempos, starting very slowly, then making your way up to a really fast tempo. So today I'm going to demonstrate playing over this etude and starting at 200 BPM, going through the whole thing and making sure that I'm very consistent. I'm very conscious of every articulation that I make, and I make sure that I don't fall behind the beat or rush, and try to be as center as possible. Sit back, enjoy, and I'll see you in a bit. This is just one of the many exercises that you can do to help improve your time feel. But I hope with this one, it can get you in the right direction and sounding better within a couple of weeks or so. I really hope it helps. Thank you for watching the video, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below of what you want for the next video on Sax Ed. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook for more ballads, standards, and beats. Stay saxy! Hey everybody, wow.
Get hype, baby.
This is what happens when you take a lesson with Chris Potter.
Doggo.
Poor doggo. Somebody probably stepped on his tail.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. La 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 la! Got that out of my system.
You're not a vocal major anymore.
I was a vocal major. Fun fact.